Hero holds red pocket aces under the gun in the 2-card game. Open raises to 75. Folds to the button, who 3-bets to 215. The blinds fold. Hero then puts out a perfect full stack of $25 chips for a $500 4-bet exactly, without any verbalization of any kind. The button, who covers, calls. Hero, believing is all in, proudly flips over the bullets. The main villain says, I think I had the correct immediate odds to call profitably for 285 more, after I already invested 215, but I also can utilize my positional advantage in which I might be able to get away. You initially giggle at his supposed joke. As the betting action seems over and done with, flop has exactly $1,000 in it after the blinds get taken out for the rake. Ace of spades right in the window. Then running king, queen, both hearts, second nuts for you. At this point, the button player alerts you that you actually have one $100 chip left behind. And you think kindly, but truly deceitfully, shows you the jack 10 of clubs for the first nuts before you make a decision, and sweetly asks if you want to just check or go all in. But we are for sure playing the hand out, and I am not taking it down. What do you do if you are in Hero's shoes? Or are a shark on the button? Give it some time and really think about the exact situation and what could happen on later street runouts if you're the fish in this situation and the button is the shark, or vice versa. I really hope that you did not come to the conclusion to check. Thinking something like, he clearly sucked out on me and I'm the underdog now. Why would I actively put more money into this pot? Chase good money after bad. Maybe I get to see the turn card for free. Because in reality, the complete opposite is true. Let's say you did in real time, maybe flustered and not thinking clearly, did check. The button, then visibly shocked, quickly checks back with the current nuts. Turn is the ace of clubs. You make quads, and obviously put in the $100 chip now, and villain is about to fold, but the dealer, physical dealer, actually forgot to burn a card. Oops. The real turn card is actually a deuce of hearts, giving you the nut flush draw as well, with no more quad possibility, but still have those boat outs too. Actually moving up your equity to about 42% when on the flop it was just under at 39%. While you're thinking about what to do now and what just happened, the villain, out of turn, puts the rest in. You obviously call, getting an astounding 11-1 on your money. Then, to avoid variance entirely also, both you and the button agree on an even equity chop. $600 for the shark and $400 for you. $100 profit versus $100 loss. Hopefully, if you did not immediately or already after some thought, see now that you were committed to the pot, the button could easily exploit you by checking back to avoid the board pairing on the turn where he would be drawing dead in that scenario. Put the rest in on a blank. Saving the $100 about 16% of the time when it does pair for an EV increase of about $16 checking flop versus betting. Bringing up a very important point, especially in pot limit Omaha. Sometimes the obvious draw, equity underdog, which top set is here, still prefers to put the rest all in, if knowing the cards still. Because one won't get paid on certain turns, but will still go with the hand on a brick, because the pot is so big compared to the effective stacks remaining. No playability on later streets to benefit from, and equity shift on the turn. Protection from the made hand is also out the window if villain is thinking, because he will get called with the drawing hand anyway if he bet. Plus, in PLO, Many times the so-called drawing hand can easily not just be typically a coin flip versus the better made hand, but routinely reverses actually to the huge 2-1 massive combo draw favorite on the flop. One great example is here. If you flop top set and the nut flush draw, not picking up on the turn, you would have about a 1 out of 3 to pair the board, and another 1 out of 3 to hit a flush by the turn or river. Now, you have both incentives working for you to get it in immediately while the getting's good. You want someone to have flopped it here. The dream would be 2 fish betting crazy big to protect their hand. You have what is called the joint, or all of it. Now imagine a similar but way worse scenario back to our Texas Hold'em example. You do not have a $100 chip, but a $1,000. Also, the board is the same 3 Broadway cards, but rainbow. So just top set, having an almost exactly 2-1 equity disadvantage versus the Jack-10. Stack to pot ratio of precisely 1. What to do now with top set? The first action for Hero is between 2 extreme options and is indifferent between them in long run expected value. Nothing in between. Go all in, knowing for sure that you are getting snapped off, or check. If you did for some reason bet a smaller amount than pot, the button would use his playability and equity shift advantage on the turn by just calling, doing exactly the same thing in the first scenario, folding if the board pairs and putting the rest of it in if it doesn't. Check seems like the most popular option, where we can possibly avoid variance if he checks back, assuming we would 100% call an all in anyway. Maybe even win the pot if he does indeed do that if the board pairs on the turn. Fold if it doesn't, then he waits and decides to shove with a much larger equity advantage now, as well as in theory he would be indifferent to both options as us on the flop in theory if we never fold. Or he goes all in and we truly just fold in reality too and save 1K chip out of fear of variance. But let's say the shark instead tries maximum exploitation, bets 1/4 pot of 250 after you do so check, giving a tempting 5-1 on a call. 2 correct answers here, and 1 clear wrong one. You're paying to see the turn only. 1 card, not 2. River will cost you the rest of your stack, or him to get away 100% of the time from those 2 completely exclusive outcomes of he's moving slightly more ahead or completely dead. Needing about 5.25 to 1 or better to call, not 2 like if the bet was for all your chips effectively. The answers are check raise all in, get snapped of course, or just fold right now. Never call. It is a trap. I repeat, a trap. But in real time, you talk yourself into a bad call because of the good price you were getting, and the turn is the same deuce of hearts as before. The board pairs on the river about 23% of the time now, so you are needing about 3.35 to 1 or better to properly call an all in. Villain chips it in out of turn again, tipping the dealer while doing so because he knows you are folding. Pot grew to 1,500 and he bet 1/2 pot of 750, so now increases to 2,250. Divide that by the $750 bet equals exactly 3. You need to win this hand 25% of the time or more and don't have enough equity to profitably call. If you did, 23% of a $3,000 pot is $690, started the turn with $750. In the long run, losing $60 in EV, pocket aces, hits the muck, and the shark gets some good, tasty food to eat.
I am a nice shark, not a mindless eating machine. If I am to change this image, I must first change myself. Fish are friends, not food.